Today I wanted to show you a game where I actually had good teammates. I know. It's something that I can definitely get a little bit down about and just only think that there's bad teammates and it's always someone else's fault. I could certainly get into that mode, but in this game, I had some amazing teammates that really helped me out here. We're playing Hannover and, you know, not known for its long-range dispersion, so we're not going to actually do that well against an Annapolis, at least at that range. But that does get us a little ways towards our secondary buff. This is a pretty fun ship to play when you get the right map and matchmakers. So notice no submarines, notice no carriers. I understand that if you're playing your Hannover in a game with a carrier or subs, games like this just aren't going to happen. But it is possible to get games without those subs and carriers and with some good teammates. So how do I play this ship? At least on this flank, normally I wouldn't push this aggressive. This is a very, very aggressive early push, but notice we're not spotted yet. This is really, really important. It means that there's no destroyers on the 1-2 lines coming up to spot us, torp us, all that stuff. So I don't have to worry about that. I'm only worried about torps coming from the capture circle now, and that's about it. Our Unicum is doing a good job of scouting out that north side as well. We pop our Hydro to cross this gap. We do have a Tulsa around us as well, so he's going to have himself a radar and some decent DPM, although maybe not as much as a Des Moines, for example. That's a tier 9 Des Moines with one less gun per turret, so only 6 guns on that one, but a decent reload at least. And these two are going to be our clutch teammates. These guys are going to help me out so much. I make a bit of a mistake here by using my extra special secondary boost on someone who's just on the border. This is not going to work because secondaries don't know how to lead when someone's on the border. So I basically waste my first secondary boost, but that's okay. We'll get more in a little bit, and our overmatch is going to do reasonably well against this St. Vincent. And we're going to stop here. We're in a position where we can just barely avoid the enemy's fire, assuming we sit behind the tallest point of this island. This is a really good way to take 1v1s in a lot of different ships, but in a Hannover specifically, we are wanting to take 1v1s against battleships and cruisers and not get ourselves torped out of the water, right? This is the kind of position that I'm constantly looking for on any map, really. And it just happened to work out here because there was no one on the 1-2 lines. If there was someone there, I'd probably be playing a little further back where our Tulsa is, for example, trying to get a little bit more distance and not so overcommitted, which I'm pretty overcommitted here, let's be honest. I also start pushing forward a little bit because the destroyer was last spotted in the cap, potentially pushing forward and getting a torpedo angle on me. So I don't really want that. But there's a rune pushing up as well, who does have 6-kilometer torps that we do have to worry about here. And yeah, our Unicum is doing a really nice job for us, just spotting and making sure that there's really nothing coming up in front of us. And he's probably going to go back out to the flank. Our Tulsa is pushing up now as well, getting some damage in on the Holland. And notice the rune coming for us. I think that his idea was maybe to dump some torps and turn away, something like that. But we have Unicum torps on the way. Like I said, these guys just knew where to play and support me so that I could just farm a ton of damage off these battleships and have a really good game myself. So I hope they ended up having a good game. I actually wasn't quite sure where they ended up, but they certainly enabled me to have an excellent game here. Unicum just absolutely crushes that poor rune who, I mean, let's be honest, he was probably going for torps, so we back up, and I think that makes a lot of sense. And now with this Tulsa here next to us, he pops his Hydro, mine's on cooldown, it's very, very handy to have. It's important that we try and take out this Satsuma before the Satsuma can just take our Tulsa out. That is a very, very dangerous ship on the enemy team, especially against cruisers. So we're going to pop our next secondary booster. And again, I do a bit of a misplay. I think I pop it a little early since we don't have full accuracy yet, so we're not getting the maximum value out of it. As well as I just reverse behind an island, so not all my secondaries are shooting the whole time. So yeah, not the highest value secondaries, but that's okay. Our main guns are doing a decent job, of course. With a Hannover, you get 480mm guns, which overmatch 32, which the Satsuma is just made out of. So even though the Hannover is pretty weak at range and is one of the reasons that I don't fully recommend you just go for this one as your first or even second super ship, it's certainly not the best. At close range, it's definitely the best. This Satsuma basically has no chance here. Our armor is really solid at close ranges, and notice the angle here that we're able to get all our turrets off on the Satsuma. If you're used to something like the Kurfurst or even the Preussen, which did help a little bit in this regard, it's no contest here. The Hannover turret angles are so nice. They allow you to stay angled and take far less damage at closer ranges. And we absolutely crushed the Satsuma into his cheek. I think we all know about that by now. But if you don't, go check out the Yamato armor viewer and see what the Citadel looks like. It's pretty interesting. But it does mean he takes Citadels very easily. I don't know how our Tulsa survived, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, but he went flat broadside to a Satsuma at like, what, 6 kilometers? But he lived, and we do manage to take the Satsuma out. And now, with the help of the radar from the Tulsa, we know that the DD is really not all that close to us. The Ugamos are going to push out ahead of us, so we can push out ourselves as well without worrying about torps or getting YOLO rushed. And this is what I'm talking about. Teammates that are supporting me, like, I thought I was dreaming, honestly, while playing this game. I was like, is this possible? Random battles? Teamwork? I was having a great time, of course, because I'm playing the Hannover and I'm actually having a good game in Hannover, getting secondary value and all that, brawling it out a little bit. But on top of that, having good teammates, it's rare. So I thought that we had to just appreciate it a little bit in this video. It's not something that's going to happen all the time. And it's not like you should go out of your way to only help your teammates, right? You shouldn't sacrifice your own play and your own ability just to enable your teammates to play. That's not a very fun play style, and a lot of times it's just not going to work because your teammates won't know how to make use of the help you're providing. We're going to try and kill this Shima. I wasn't spotted for quite a while there, so I knew that he wasn't going to have torps out for me, but I did think I needed to kill him really quickly, so that's why I just shot. Even though we don't get the kill or any hits, it's all right, because we didn't eat a Shima salvo of torps, right? That's a very easy way to die. And now we can just push in. This Neptune may be torping us, but we know he was greedy earlier on. There were some single launcher torps coming through, and they were all in a line. So I know that if I wiggle around just a little bit using my rudder, it's very unlikely that he's going to land torps on us. Now we get to pop another secondary booster. The reload is really insane as soon as you pop this booster, on top of the extra range that you get. But I'm primarily using it for reload here, as you can see. And yep, just like we thought, that Neptune did do a little bit of a greedy launch of single launcher torps, so we do manage to avoid all of them and get ourselves a little bit of a pity Citadel. 175k though, that's a pretty solid game so far, and we're going to get a little bit more. But like I said, and I was talking about there a little bit earlier, I think that team play is important. It's really important to play around your teammates, provide the radar if you're in the radar cruiser, provide the spotting and zone control. Like, this Unicum did such an amazing job earlier on in the match, zoning out the 1-2 lines, making sure that there wasn't a DD getting around to my flank and torping me for free. That allowed me to play much more aggressive. So while I don't think you should fully give up everything just to support teammates, I do think a lot of good things come from supporting teammates and playing your role, and a lot of base XP, high damage number games will come from that because you're providing the support of DPM, spotting, torping, or just being a bit of a tanky battleship that they can focus on, that kind of thing. You're all playing your role together in a 3-man div, right? This wasn't a div, this was just 3 people randomly meeting up and playing really well together. But 3-man divs are obviously a great way to guarantee you have teammates you can rely on and not just try and trust random teammates. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I do think that divs are probably the best way to play this game, so if you haven't tried it yet, try and find some people to play with. Because this kind of teammates and teamwork aren't always going to happen in random battles, let's be honest. As for the build, we were actually doing a full secondary Hannover. Certainly not the most versatile build, but it can be a lot of fun, even with Lucians and yeah, even close quarters combat. So very all in here on the secondaries and brawling, but it's a lot of fun, and that's really why I play this ship. The upgrades look like this. Shouldn't have steering gears. It should be prop or damage con. Why don't we just fix that right now? The reason it was steering gears is that's from the Kurfurst and the Preussen, for example. Worst turret angles, I want to use my rudder and speed to angle quickly after shooting. But Hannover angles are so good that you don't really need that. But that's going to be it for this video. Just a bit of a positive look at teammates for once. It felt good. It felt really good. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.